Hey, welcome to the replay. So, really quick, instead of adding more flashy, trendy, funny stuff to your marketing, I would argue that you need more boring stuff in your marketing. And I want to talk about one of those things right now. So, my name is Monique James. I am a marketing strategist and an AI consultant, and I help small to medium sized business owners, nonprofit leaders clarify their marketing before they automate it. And I want to talk about SOPs today. SOPs, very boring, very mindful, very strategic. So, before I learned what an SOP was in the military, I was actually introduced to SOPs in my mother's kitchen. So I was a latchkey kid. My siblings and I were latchkey kids. And at least 3 days a week, my mother, who would be at work when we got home from school, would leave us notes with things that she wanted us to do, things that she wanted to make sure we did not forget to do. And over time, the the instructions were the same. It was the same instructions. She wasn't rewriting those notes every single day. She was storing those notes in somewhere and pulling them out, and they were always in the same place when we got home from school. We would go in, get our snack, and the notes were there when we went to go get our after school snacks. And what I realized is this wasn't just parenting. This was a system for parenting. This was documentation. This was operational clarity. And what it did is it ensured that in our home there was consistency, there was independence, there was accountability, there was safety. And I didn't know until I joined the Army that that was my first SOP, my first introduction to a standard operating procedure. And so once I got in the Army, that evolved into what I became to know as the white binder. If you are watching this as a service member, a veteran, you know what the white binder is, right? It's the manual, it's the continuity book, and these were important to make sure that the mission continued. The things didn't fall apart. Plans didn't get upended when somebody PCS'd, right? This made sure that the successors could step in without having to reinvent processes. This made sure that quality and efficiency were not dependent on the person doing the job. This made sure that performance wasn't based on somebody's memory. That's the beauty of an SOP, because if your process only lives in your head, then it's not a system. It's a liability. And that applies to your marketing, especially. So now let me bring this conversation to you, to the business owner, the business leader who is watching this broadcast. You might be saying, these are the kind of things that I see and hear in my conversation with business owners. The founders, the owner operators are doing everything themselves, or the vendors are executing the marketing without documentation. That was me. A previous version of my business, I was a social media manager, and I struggled. I and my clients struggled because we had to reinvent the wheel every month. We did content in monthly batches for our clients. Every single month, we were building from scratch again. And that was not the experience that I wanted to continue. And so I recognized the friction that was avoidable if we put some things in place. That friction prompted my shift out of social media management and creating content for other businesses to strategy. I wanted to better prepare those brands, those leaders who were my clients, who would still be my clients if I was still doing that work, better prepare them for that relationship with a vendor. Because as somebody who used to be the vendor, doing everything without documentation is exhausting. It doesn't lend to a fruitful and enjoyable experience between the vendor and the client. Agencies who are doing this digital marketing work for clients are doing it without shared logic between their partners, between themselves and the clients. I see content calendars that don't have workflow maps. Like there is no standard way of capturing ideas, allowing those ideas to marinate and become something that could be content, creating the content, refining the content, scheduling the content, reviewing the content. There's no workflows happening. So here's the question. If your marketer, the person who does marketing for your business, if they leave tomorrow, if your VA decides they're closing their business down, if you decide to step away for a month, what happens? What happens to your marketing? Does it continue or does it halt, stop, and wait for somebody to remember what you were thinking? That's not growth planning in my book. That's dependency planning. And that added with AI leads to overwhelmed, frustrated, discouraged, demoralized business owners. AI without the foundation of an SOP is just chaos magnified. It's just chaos magnified. If you don't have documented logic for how your channels, how your marketing channels work together, if you don't have clear guardrails for what goes into the tool and what doesn't, if you don't have the sequencing of your workflows, AI will not fix it for you. It will merely amplify and magnify those gaps. And that's not the existence that I want you to have. I want to do my part to help your business. Or if it's already existing in your business, fix it for real. And so at the time that I'm recording this live, I will be teaching in 2 weeks, February 28th, 10 a.m. I will be teaching um, my second in a series of work sessions that I am hosting this year for small to medium sized business owners, for marketing vendors, for nonprofit leaders who want to learn how to integrate AI into their marketing, but actually do it while we're together. Do it with support. Do it and get your questions answered. Do it and set it up and leave with it done. So my February AI work session is focusing on mapping your marketing logic. I know it sounds it's very much industry language that I am using right now, and I promise you you will understand it. I will explain it in the session. We are going to talk about we are going to walk through building those powerful SOPs that are boring because again, maybe your marketing doesn't need the flashy, trendy things. The boring things get it done. The boring things keep things moving. The boring things allow you as the leader to take vacation and know that things don't stop because you're not in the mix. We're going to talk about how to turn the knowledge that you are carrying, that you and your teams are carrying in your heads, into documented systems. And we're going to do it together during the session. So my interest is not in teaching you tools for the sake of teaching tools. The tools are great. The tools are fun. The tools let you do some fantastical awareness getting things. But at the end of the day, if there is no continuity, why are you doing this? That's the question. So in the Army, my Army training taught me that the mission outlasted the individual. And if you are in business, if you are doing the work that you do with the intention of it outlasting you, I want to help you build the systems that do not depend on memory, personality, or panic. So I want to invite you to join me for the February AI work session. The link will be attached to this video. Get signed up. Meet me on Saturday, February 28th, live, virtual. You will also get access to the recording. Um, and let's get this done for real. You've been wanting to delegate your marketing, or if you have already delegated and that process was as bumpy could be, and you want to improve it, This is what you need. This is why I'm doing it. So I'd be happy to see you on at the February AI work session. We're going to be talking about those boring things that move the needle in your business. And AI, sure, great. I love it. It's wonderful. Um, but it does not replace you as the leader and the very important role that you have for deciding what matters in your business. So, thank you for tuning in. If you have questions about anything that we have talked about um, in this video, drop them in the comments below. And now I'm gonna go because I gotta go call my mama. Later.